Coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Good. So good to see you. It feels like we haven't seen you in a week or so. It's been a month. Anyways, just kill me now. My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram, I think. I don't know. I try to avoid the internet these days.
I haven't been on much lately. I've been kind of staying away a little bit.
Nice?
It's been a little nice, yeah. You know, people don't call you names and get in your DMs and threaten your life. I kind of miss that, though. Miss that a little bit. Need that excitement in my life. Guys, my name is Brooke, and you can find me at BrookeMe3 on Twitter and Instagram. On today's show, most importantly, Doug's here.
Wait, and there it is. We got Doug Cam.
What up?
See? Everyone's
Still trying
excited.
to get over that postseason loss. Had to get some support from my guys.
And a beer.
And a beer.
And a beer.
Yeah.
A Modelo.
Shout out Modelo.
Yeah.
Courtesy. These ones are finally, I used that gift card.
Swag Daddy.
Some of that gift card from our friend Swag Daddy McGee.
I hope he's in the chat so he can appreciate that.
Hold on.
We can appreciate him.
Yes.
He can appreciate us.
Be very appreciated.
Anyways, on today's show, well, you know, I think there's a World Series on. I don't think the ratings are doing particularly well for good reason. Nobody really wants to watch it. A lot of, bull crap going on there. We just want the offseason to start. I mean, that's where we're at right now. I'm ready to get to spring training. Let's just skip over this BS postseason. So we'll talk offseason a little bit. We're going to, anything that could possibly come up in free agency, we're going to talk about it.
Going hog wild, guys.
Going hog wild.
Going hog wild about your Los Angeles Dodgers.
We're doing it raw.
In free agency. We're what? Raw hogging? Is that
raw hogging?
I you know how I do that thing I like to do where I just invent stupid games. I use an old graphic and just repurpose it. Well, we're going to have a game. I'm going to call it Fast 5, even though it's 10. Gary was just here and he pointed out the fact that it was 10.
5-5.
But there's 5 and 5. We're going to play Fast 5 on some of your Dodgers free agents, plus our best case scenarios. If we decide to still do that later in the show, it depends on where we're at. We might be all over the place, but the show is going to rely heavily on you guys. We're going to give it the Doug effect. Heavy in on the comments. We're on that camera right now. We're on.
Oh, what up, guys? I like this.
Yeah, we got all
in the house.
All the cameras covered. All that and more in today's episode of your Blue Haven show. Before we get into the show, we got to remind you this is also a podcast. If you're watching us live, or if you're listening to us and you want to watch us live, we do this every Monday on YouTube, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you'll get a notification right away when we go live, and that's a pretty cool thing. But yeah, if you ever want to join the show, that's where you know we're at. But if you subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, all those other spots where podcasts are available for free, we'd appreciate it. Leave a review, rate us. We'd very much like it.
We would very much like it. And Doug, Doug's real happy. He likes when you guys do that. He gets real excited to see your faces in there. All right, Doug?
Yes.
Always.
Yes. Speaking of that, we are live. We do this live. We're doing it once a week now. We're off the playoff. We're off the postseason. What were we doing, like 6 times a week, whatever the hell we were doing back then? I'm so tired from that, by the way. But we are live tonight. We want to talk to you guys about off-season baseball. We don't want to talk to you guys about postseason baseball. So drop into the comments. Let us know where you're repping Dodgers Nation tonight. Mars McCready over on YouTube says, yo. Vincent on YouTube says, Kris Bryant? Okay,
Bryant.
Got it. Anthony Keene says, yo, happy Monday, my dudes. Anthony, good to see you as always. Dong Kim, your boy Dong, too. Dong likes you a lot. Yeah.
What up, Dong?
Dong says, what's up, Clinton Brook? And now Dong knows that you're here as well.
Dong's the man. Always bringing the hot takes, the fire takes.
Legend.
Dong's paid for a lot of our
Dropping
beer.
the super chats, man.
Yeah. Appreciate Dong.
Roach has us covered. Roach says that Clint, gets 5 stars. So I get 5 stars. Brooke gets a smiley face. And Doug gets a thumbs up. So
take it. I love it.
We appreciate all of that.
Give a thumbs up back.
Shay says, hi, besties. Missed you guys. See, I mean, when we're not on every day, people miss our faces. We both have faces made for radio, but, we're still here.
Got Brooke coming out with the dad jokes.
Yeah.
Richie's checking in from New York City. Hey, it's late over there in NYC, but we appreciate you hanging out with us. Richie Salmon. Or salmon if you're nasty. This is in my way. We got National City, California. Chicano Malo's in the stream. Jose Rado 5. Of course, our friend is in the stream here. Brian says Doug forgot rocking the Britney headset. We bought a secondary Britney headset just so he can have one here. Gary likes it, and
This is for the road, man. We're starting a movement with these Britney headsets.
Yeah.
I feel like you like it too. At your pad, you were rocking it for the pregame show.
It's great. The only thing I don't like is I've been using this mic for so long, and you learn, the cadence of where you're pulling away, and that thing's just always in your face. So if you need to burp or whatever, you have to like awkwardly grab it. And I'm a burper. I'm a burping boy,
Yeah.
I do burp a lot and I breathe heavy.
No, if I don't have the mic here, I feel naked. I'm not gonna lie.
I have to breathe so much right now.
Pretty out of shape, and I can't breathe out of my nose, so it's not a good combination for me.
Richie notes that he's been a fan for 60 years over there in New York City. It's only 10 p.m.
Of us?
Yes. Old 60-year-old Brooke. Boyd checking in. Chino is in the house. Aloha from Hawaii. 559 in here. Longy Raider. I think that's what it was. Doug, you get 2 thumbs up apparently. So that's good. I'm going to go to this one for right now.
Some Siskel and Ebert action for the 90s. 2 thumbs up. I love it.
Good job, bud. You're aging yourself.
Oh, sorry.
You're so old, man.
See,
7.
back in the day, they used to have
no.
It's like IMDb, but for old people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tina says, the one and only Doug. Everybody loves Doug. We didn't get this much excitement when Gary was here last week.
I'm telling Gary, he's going to be big sad.
We should note then, if you guys want more Doug and more coverage, we alluded to it a little bit last week about, us doing more sportsy things in the offseason and doing Lakers coverage over with our friends at Sports Illustrated. You can even find Brooke's name on there a whole bunch now. Big time journalism, man.
Big time tired.
But, guys, if you really want to help us out, of all the things we ask you to subscribe to and all that, and everybody who does, we appreciate it. Some of us, all 3 of us in here, at least know something about basketball, but you got some real professional insider guys here, and I just like to yell at the TV more than anything. But we have a Lakers channel we're building out now on YouTube. Doug's going to be doing some post-game shows there. We're doing some analysis, breakdowns, all that kind of stuff. So subscribe to Lakers 24/8 because we're bringing you coverage 24 hours a day, 8 days a week, and also this is just quality numbers. But subscribe here on YouTube. There'll be a link in the description of this video. It's in our featured channels already on our YouTube channel. All right, that's enough selling us for now. Also download our app. Anyways,
App time.
First things first, guys, let's get into it. Baseball is still being played apparently. The first question I ask to everybody here in the audience, particularly everybody here in the room, is Atlanta going to pull its best Atlanta impression and blow a 3-1 lead? Because, they came out to a 4-0 lead in Game 5, and it's like, it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be one of those awful, boring endings of a World Series of a postseason game. And then, I don't know who brought the trash can to Atlanta, but all of a sudden, the magic of whatever Houston does happens, and they come back and win it. What was it? Final was like 9-5 or something like that. Ugly Game 5 loss. I can't imagine Atlanta feeling too hot about that. What do you think about that, Doug? Give me your thoughts on that real quick. Go ahead.
It's a brave new series, man. They're going back to Houston, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid because that changes the conversation of the 2017 World Series because we can talk smack about that, and they're going to say, fine, we don't care about that one. We have our legit World Series. I kind of want them to never have any legitimate World Series in their franchise's history, and Atlanta is going to Atlanta. The Atlanta curse is real. It just didn't happen in the NLCS. Will it happen in the World Series?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, does Houston have enough pitching to keep this Braves offense at bay for 2 straight games? I'm hoping Game 6 is the game, and even if it's not, we saw what the Nationals were able to do in Game 7 in 2019, so there is still hope. Bregman's been trash. Just want to point that out. I really do think it's anyone's series at this point. I really do. The momentum, the bats have come alive for Houston. I just hope that Atlanta doesn't play too tight. Hope they go out there and execute. And look, anytime you get a grand slam like they did early at home, you're feeling good.
You got to capitalize on it.
You got to cash in, man. You got to win that World Series. But how you guys feeling?
Where are you at with it? Are you watching any of it?
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, last night was the first game that I've watched so far in the series. I have zero interest in this series. I have zero vested. I got no skin in the game, guys. I'm covering the Lakers right now. I don't care about Astros versus the exact same thing that I said before the Dodgers got knocked out was no one's going to really care about this series. And I was right. No one really cares about this series unless you're a Braves fan or just really, really hate the Astros, or I guess if you're an Astros fan as well, which is fine. That's your choice, but you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I just don't have a vested interest in it. I was even watching it last night, and I was like, for as high scoring of a game as it is, for as entertaining as it should be, it's just not interesting to me. I just don't really care that much. And then I think the best thing that came for it was John Boy talking smack on the pitchers wearing jackets on the base pass. That was the best thing that came out of it for me. I was like, oh, this is a good opportunity.
Like the desire to need to make a take like that, like just an aimless take that was going to be divisive.
I will say this is not helping our theory that people think we hate John Boy for some reason.
Well,
we don't.
I like Jimmy.
I like him.
Jimmy's
he
a nice
did a lot
fella.
of good things. He's a part of the reason the Astros got caught. So he actually is like the reason the Astros got caught.
What do you think happens in this series though? Does it end in Game 6?
I think the Braves just crush it in Game 6 and it's over.
Yeah, I really haven't been watching any of it. It's been very peaceful. So peaceful, so productive. I'm getting so many things done.
Yeah, I just think that, I mean, it's unfortunate because that would have been Morton's start, and that injury comes back to haunt them. That's kind of been the most compelling thing from this World Series. Like, oh, he threw 10 pitches with a broken leg. But the way they have it lined up, you got Fried, you got Ian Anderson, and this Braves offense, I mean, you have to believe that they can score enough runs and find a way to win this series. I think the pressure will, to an extent, be on Houston. Because, look, their backs are still against the wall. They're still facing elimination. And I just think this Braves team, they just got to go for the knockout punch, man. Like, all this Atlanta curse has to end at some point, and hopefully it ends in Houston, right? So that would be satisfying. Honestly, I'm with you. I don't think it's been the most compelling World Series at all, and I'm just triggered by the side of both teams. One just eliminated my team recently. That's a fresh wound. I'm still in mourning off that. And then anytime you see that nasty orange, the Houston Trash Stros orange, it definitely triggers me. So, really, can they both just not win? Let's just cancel this World Series and move to the next year.
You know me, I've always been a big fan of the rally meteor. It's not a real thing. We can't make it happen.
Oh,
but
my gosh.
I'm down with like Chubby Jock getting a championship, though.
Yeah, I really do hope it ends up being Braves in 6. I want to see Atlanta celebrate in Houston's field. I think that'll be good. Jock getting another chip would be nice because boy loves chips. And that's about it. There's your Jock's Chubby Now joke for the day.
Sorry, Jock.
But again, while this is all still happening, this baseball is still happening, we're sitting here, us Dodger fans, we're waiting for, part 2, season 2, I guess season 3, because season 2 is postseason. Now season 3 is the offseason. So my first thought with this is like, man, this must be what Angels feel like, the Angels fans feel like, but like for much longer.
Did you know the day we got eliminated, do you know how many Angels fans I had in my DMs like trash talking
things?
Yeah.
They have those?
There were so many of them. And they were like talking crap, and I was like, I don't even know how to like talk smack back to you. Haven't been how long? When's the last time you were? Mike Trout has 4 playoff at bats. And what the hell does he have? I don't even know what are you doing? And you can't talk back. What do you have to say?
You wasted 2 Hall of Fame careers. The latter half of Albert Pujols' career and Mike Trout.
Plus, I was like, all right, guys, congratulations.
Plus the legendary Andrew Heaney. Long-time Dodger legend. Long-time Dodger legend. But we talked a little bit about free agency and what's going to go down for the Dodgers, at least what we think could happen for the Dodgers coming up this winter. A little bit about baseball and the CBA. I've seen a few people talking about, I think our friend Josh Gitt asked if we think the season's going to start on time, March 31st. Personally, I do not, just because I have zero faith in anything Rob Manfred would ever lay his fingers upon. And, well, that's just me being smart, because Robbie's always let us down. And they're already fumbling this. He's already fumbled enough this. But we'll hope. We'll pray. We got another month before it gets into CBA stuff. So I'm sure we'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. Today is a postseason, off-season. There it is, off-season primer, your free agency, your hot stove. I don't have a sizzle. You got the sizzle button. I know you got that. I don't have the sizzle button on lock. But
you have to do the...
No, that's when there's breaking news.
Whatever.
Yeah, this is
the best we got.
I got...
there you go. Money.
Because people are going to get paid this offseason, whether or not there's going to be a season on time. The Dodgers, as you know, have 11 free agents hitting the open market, and then we include old friend Steve Souza in there. They are led, the names are led by franchise icons like Clayton Kershaw and Kenley Jansen. You have Corey Seager, Chris Taylor among the premier position players hitting the open market. And you also have 2021 additions like Max Scherzer and Albert Pujols, who showed they both still have at least something in the tank to contribute in 2022. So, to start us off, we're going to play that game that I decided to invent. We're going to call it Fast Five. That's
good. Yeah,
that's the noise. So, I don't think I'm going to play it, but I'm going to do both of you Pause for effect.
Huh?
Pause for effect. Pause for effect. We're going to play this game and call it Fast Five. There's no money. There are no winners. There are only losers, and both of y'all are losers, and we appreciate you for that. But it's going to be pretty simple. You guys see 5 names on the screen. I know Brooke can't read, so I will read them to him as he goes through them. He can't see I don't think you could see me. I'm just, a
blur.
A gelatinous
You're so
blob.
fast, you're a blur.
Anyways, we're doing the 10 probably more premium free agents that the Dodgers have. And turn off that camera for a second. Coming up, and the whole idea is simple enough. And I'm including Joe Kelly because they've already said they're gonna, at least not pick up the option.
We follow.
So you guys are gonna each get 1 minute to run through these 10 players, 5 at a time. You're going to determine to be quick enough. You got a minute, so are they coming back? Or are they going somewhere else? We'll dig more into each player after the fact, but this is real quick. You're going to get it done in under a minute. So
just yes or no?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's easy.
Or you could be like, I don't think so, or whatever. This is hot take. This is hot take central, kids. Hi, Hamilton. All right, money on the clock, please, and go. Kenley Jansen. Brooke, you're up first. Kenley Jansen, where's it going?
Not back.
Oh, well, I guess not. Where is it going? Joe Kelly.
Back.
Oh, Corey Knebel.
Not back.
Jimmy Nelson.
Back.
Danny Duffy.
Not back.
All right, blowing through this. Albert Pujols.
Not back.
Chris Taylor.
Not back.
What about that guy, that shortstop guy, Corey Seager?
Not back.
Oh, this guy, Max Scherzer.
Not back.
Clayton F. Kershaw.
Back, baby.
Now, is that from the heart, or is that from...
No, that's from realsies.
Oh, yeah. It's from the loins.
From the deep loins, right in the nuggets.
Do I have a horn? I have that horn. There it is. He made it through in 30 seconds. Brooke, premature, the way.
About as fast as you need to be.
Everybody loves
just enough to get the job done.
We probably should
not stay in overtime.
We should have written those down. So, do you remember what you said?
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, it doesn't really matter. That's pointless. It's just a time filler. Doug, you are now up. Boom. We got straight up, right in your face, Doug Cam. Give me 6 seconds on the clock. Go, Kenley Jansen.
Not back.
Leaving. Not back.
Cubs.
Oh, look at that. Hold on, I got to do this.
Cubs.
Joe Kelly.
Not back.
What are you saying? Names? Just saying teams now?
If something comes to mind, if I have that gut instinct, you know what I'm saying?
All right, we got Joe Kelly. You said back, not back.
Not back.
Not back. Gone. Oh, look at that.
Thanks for the memories.
Corey Knebel.
I think he stays.
Oh. Get some differentials. You can't even see my fingers here. Jimmy Nelson. Injured. Nelson.
Where's he going to go? I think he's back.
All right, makes enough sense. Danny Duffy.
Gone.
All right. Albert Pujols.
I think he stays. I think they find a way to keep him.
Oh, wow. Look at that. There's a clap for people who like him. Chris Taylor.
I would say they find a way to keep him. I think he stays.
All right. And what's the next one out there? Corey Seager.
Corgi.
I would say he's gone.
Corgi Seager gone. Max Scherzer.
I think they re-sign Max Scherzer.
Huh? All right. And Clayton Kershaw. Final.
I think he goes to the Giants. No, he's staying. He's staying with the. He will be with the Dodgers. He will never. I said it a long time ago. He will never play for another team. I don't care if they have to move Dallas to LA. He stays with the Dodgers, and they find a way to work it out. And honestly, the beauty is they dodged that bullet. They didn't have to undergo Tommy John surgery or anything. I think that he can still spin it, and I still think he'll still be effective. So I want to see him back in LA. We got to give him those roses. He deserves the farewell tour. I mean, he's staying. I feel like the reason why you can tell I get anxiety when at the thought of him leaving. So yeah,
as very many do.
Yeah.
Well, that was Fast Five. I don't know if that was worth the time and effort to make the graphics, but I made them, and you all watched it.
Clap now, please. Clap now.
Mash that heart button, fam squad. All right, let's dive more into each of these players. Clayton Kershaw. Let's dig in a little bit on here. Roach says D-Mac lasted twice as long.
He took the pill.
That's a first. That's a first. Trust me.
He uses those Tiger Sex pills from the gas station.
Hey.
Not the premium ones from like 7-Eleven.
Not like that horny goat weed.
Yeah, no. This is Valero shit.
Valero.
It has been discussed, or at least mentioned by Andrew Friedman, the idea, I mean, he didn't say it this way, but of the Kobe-style legacy contract for Clayton Kershaw. He's going to be 34 years old. He has a good number of miles on that arm now.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we think he does?
Yeah, he's staying.
I think he's staying. If if he decides he would like to play baseball, which, in my opinion, he will decide that he wants to continue playing baseball, I think that he gets probably a 3-year deal and sticks around. And it's going to be a lot cheaper than what we're used to seeing out of him, and it's not going to be nearly the contract that he would have gotten at his younger age. Obviously, he got some pretty fat deals. I think a 3-year with probably a club option or maybe multiple club options attached to that. And they could decide at any point to cut him loose.
The number I keep getting in my head is like $17 million a year. Is that too low?
17, 18. I think it's pretty reasonable. For guaranteed money over a course of time, I think it's pretty reasonable.
Now, is that man going to be okay with accepting that? Or is he also, I mean, you've seen some folks say, like, he seems like it's going to be Dodgers or retire, and with, somewhere in fourth place, the Rangers.
Well, listen, I mean, he's made a ton of money in his career. I don't necessarily think that he's looking for the big bucks anymore. I think up to a certain point in your career, you have to look for that, and you have to follow that money. And I fully support that, but I don't think he's at a place now where he's like, rather than getting paid $18 million a year from the Dodgers or 20 from the Rangers, like that's not going to be enough of a difference for him to be like, all right, I'm going to go to a whole new organization, a whole new team, one that's probably not going to compete, almost certainly not going to compete. Like, I don't know why he would make that change if he wants to win rings, because the dude wants to win, absolutely just wants to win.
Yeah, and I think with Kershaw too, there's something to it for him. He's a guy who grew up around Sandy, being in the organization and knowing that while it was only a whatever, I guess 10, 12-year career for Sandy. I forget what the final exact number is. He was only around. He retired at 30, so it's an imperfect comp. But there's something about him being that guy who plays his full career, however long it may be, with one organization. I do think that means something to Kershaw. I do think he's seeing the numbers pile up, and it means a little bit more to him, where it would be Dodgers or retire more than anything. But I don't think retire. I don't think the way he ended that season, the way he ended his season in 2021 is going to sit very well with King Kershaw, as they call him.
No, I think he's got to be back. I think it is one of those things with the Dodgers. If he wants to come back, the Dodgers are going to be like, yep, please come back. Because no matter what way you spin it, if he does want to come back to the Dodgers, that reflects poorly on Friedman in the front office and everybody. And they know that. They know this is a dude that carried them for many, many years. He was for a while, the only reason that fans came to the stadium for a while. And so if you can't let that guy walk. You can't let him walk. There's no way. You have to make an effort.
Craig Osterberg says Kershaw, 25 million. He's one throw away from Tommy John. That is something to note. He is just doing the platelet-rich plasma injection. He's not getting any sort of operation. And, how does that make you feel, Douglas?
I mean, the PRP, it's a coin flip. It doesn't always work for everyone. And the reality is, he was effective. I mean, you saw the K percentage go up. You saw the walk rate was still elite. And look, he has reinvented himself. He's going with that slide piece majority of the time. And I think he can still be an effective number 3, number 4 starter, firstly. And also, there's all the emotional aspects of it, too. You can't fathom the sight of him wearing another team's hat. And I think just from Clayton Kershaw's standpoint, too, no organization around the league knows what he's done and what he's been through than the Dodgers. So I think there's a comfort factor there that they know his body. They know what he's capable of at this stage of his career. If another team signs him, it's going to be business as usual. With the Dodgers, they realize that, hey, he's going to need time off. They can't run him and give him 25, 30 starts and expect him to perform in the postseason like he has in the past. So I think it's natural. The dollar side, I think that you're going to have people out there saying it might be a bad move. They're going to compare it to the Kobe Bryant deal, the work past due. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, you want to sell that to your legends of the game. You want to say, hey, if you come to LA, we're going to take care of you. And also, there's going to be a residual factor. They're going to be profiting off Kershaw for decades. And like I said, it just won't hit the same in Cooperstown during his induction if he had ever left. And also, if he wants to go to Texas, if his arm, I don't think you'd see him pitching deep into his career like a Scherzer, but I mean that's not out of the picture. I mean, but he can't.
It's only 3 more years, so that would be a 3-year deal, and then he would be in that same boat as Scherzer. But Scherzer's a different animal. That dude's just a freak of nature.
No, he truly is. He truly is. But I still think that Kershaw can still be effective, and most importantly, and I think he comes back, and I think they sign for something like that, like you said, 17 to 23 million. The Dodgers made him the first $200 million pitcher in history. So, and he lives a modest lifestyle for someone that makes that kind of dough. You know what I'm saying?
for a multi.
Yeah, you know what I mean. If I was him, I'd be like in the Mike Tyson, 40-bedroom mansion. He's got trust me, he's got a dream house. He's got a dream house. Don't get me wrong, but I think Clayton Kershaw. I think it's more about just look. he loves being a Dodger. Like you said, Sandy Koufax element. There's something to be said about the Magic Johnsons of the world. Players that play their whole career, and it's rare these days. And I just think, come on, what are we talking about? I know people are going to say he's the washed King Kersh. Kind of like you have the washed King where LeBron is the washed King Kersh, but he'll be back in LA. That one I just feel deep down inside, it's more than 90% in my opinion.
You got something?
No.
Oh, I should make you had some. Jose Rod says 3-year, $40 million. I'm bad at math. What is that?
I don't know math either.
That's like
less than 15.
All right. I like that deal.
12? I don't know.
It's bad. At first I was saying it, and then I realized I'm
13.3.
All right, let's
give him like 3 years, 52,
Probably have to bump it up to a 50,
Yeah.
It's not going to be under $15 million a year, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. On that note, somebody who is reportedly possibly seeking a deal worth 3 years worth about $100 million, at least in the eyes of LA Times' Jorge Castillo, Mr. Max Scherzer. That's the reported potential asking price. Nobody knows any of this yet. We're all, speculating. Just we're throwing crap at the wall, see what sticks. Well, Jorge's stuff stuck because he's the only guy who was saying anything this early in the offseason, so respect. And we appreciate you, all of us underlings that are surviving on him. Max Scherzer. I feel attacked. Does this guy, and we were talking before, was it before the show or was it during the show where we were just saying like Scherzer to the Angels, they have no choice but to try to get themselves a bona fide ace. Why would Max Scherzer want to go to the Angels who are, breaking, not good?
Listen, they're not good because they don't have pitching. If they have pitching, they'll be better. They won't necessarily be the best team. They maybe still aren't even a playoff team. However, if they can prove to him that they're willing to invest in the pitching, they're willing to invest in the future, you got to figure out what the hell's wrong with Mike Trout, first of all, because the dude hasn't played baseball since like May. That's an issue. But on top of that, you got Showtime out there. There's a reason to go out there. There's potential out there. There are names there that have a lot of potential. They just haven't had pitching in so damn long. Since Bartolo. Like, it's been a long time since the Angels have had actual pitching. So
he was bad with them, by the way. He had like
one
good year. Yeah.
So if they can prove to him that, hey, look, we are trying to win ball games, which I hope they're trying to do in order to keep Shohei around, because if they don't start winning games, that dude is going to walk after his deal's done. 100% is going to walk after his third year of arbitration or whatever it is. But I think that ultimately, he does get a deal close to $100 million. I don't think he actually gets $100 million, but I think it ends up pretty damn close. I'm thinking like $395 or $398 or something like that.
There's a Shohei to Lakers comment, but it came from Turnover Westbrick.
Westbrick.
Sliwa.
That's all he has.
Premium name. I didn't listen to what you're saying, but I agree with you wholeheartedly.
No, I agree with you 100% too. The only difference is with the Angels, they could be World Series contenders. With the Dodgers, they will be World Series contenders. So I think when it comes to them, the factors are, first of all, if I'm Scherzer, I'm making sure that they know that I'm willing to sign with any team. I think the stipulation out there that he's only going to take a West Coast team, that's going to, they're going to use that and try to act like there's, the Giants, the Angels, the Padres, when in reality, there's other teams out there where I'm sure if they're willing to pay up, he'd consider going to them. And I think when it comes to Scherzer, too, does he want to switch leagues? How does he feel about being with the Dodgers? And I think the bottom line is he wants to stay in LA, and I think that he stays with the Dodgers and he accepts their deal if if the Dodgers get close to his asking price. I think that's what it comes down to. And I think when the more that the dust settles on the season, and he's not able to go in Game 6, so you're not feeling good about it. You're like, oh, we trade our 2 top prospects. He wasn't able to go in the biggest game of the season. Does that change how you feel about potentially re-signing him? But then I'm looking at it this way: he's a guy that he was in a contract year, new team, trying to win a 4 Cy Young. They rode him hard towards the end. And I think they'll learn from what happened this season, the next year. And I think that, look, he's going to be a Nolan Ryan type, a Roger Clemens type. The St. Lunatic, the Ryan Express. I think that he's going to be a guy who's going to be effective late into his career. And think about it this way. If it was that last offseason and you had the option of giving Trevor Bauer the 3 years 102 and Max Scherzer the 3 years 102, even at 37, you'd still go with Scherzer at this point of his career. So to me, it's pretty much a no-brainer. I know that the Bauer situation, can they get out from underneath that contract, is something that will factor into this situation. But I'm starting to feel more and more like the Dodgers are going to re-sign him, especially what they had to give up to get him.
I think the biggest things to note is, one, the Dodgers don't have a full starting rotation if the season were to start today. Well, I guess technically if it started today because they still have the same old guys, but even so, they didn't have a full. They didn't have the full rotation. They've proven they don't have a lot of faith in Tony Gonsolin, and it makes sense because Tony hasn't necessarily shown them a reason consistently to have a bunch of faith in him. But Dustin May just threw his first pitch today, or threw his first ball in 6 months. So he's going to be a long way back. He's still got a long way to go. He's not going to be a guy until, at best, if you're trying to build him up as a starter, he's an all-star break kind of guy. You need arms.
He's a September bullpen edition. That's what he is.
You need arms. You need more. Yeah, if they're being real slow play, which they should. Again, the kid is only 23 or whatever. You need these type of dudes. You do need a Kershaw. You need a Scherzer. You need that one final bridge to the next generation that Andrew Friedman talked about last week at Dodger Stadium. Everybody in baseball, particularly the Dodgers organization, is high on a Ryan Pepiot. You should be high on Bobby Miller. That kid's a freak as well. And there are other guys. I mean, Mitch White was middling. He has an opportunity to potentially be a Ross Stripling type, and Ross was huge for this team for that stretch of 3-4 years or so. Andre Jackson, we barely scratch the surface of what that kid can do. So there are some of those guys. There are some middling to really elite pieces, but they need that bridge. You got to have a guy. You got to have some people get there, and what better some people to get than a Max Scherzer and a Clayton Kershaw? Who, by the way, can help mold these kids.
That's a great point.
When they get to the bigs.
That's a great point. And then also, just look at the name you mentioned, Dustin May. You got May, Buehler, and Arias. That's a young core. Yep. And then you got Scherzer, who he's still effective at this age. It's almost like LeBron James in a sense. Like 37, he's still one of the best in the game. And look, you save for the 2020 season, an ERA under 3 for the last 6 seasons. I mean, that is just consistent productivity. As long as in his contract they work something out where no one can effing touch him, I think he comes back to the Dodgers. I really do. I mean, I just don't think I think they've courted him during this process. I think he feels comfortable here. And like I said, I'll believe it when I see it with the Angels. I mean, they want a shiny position player. If they don't do it now, then when though, Brooke? I mean, seriously. I mean, he's there for the taking. I think they are legitimate contenders, especially if the Dodgers try to lowball him. I don't think they will. But yeah, I just don't see him on the Angels. At the end of the day,
the dude wants a title.
Bad organization.
The dude wants another.
Yeah, terrible organization.
Dude's 37. He won his first World Series at 35. He's got all the accolades. He's got the personal shit. Dude wants a title. Anaheim is not going to help him deliver a title, even though
the Angels should bring back Tim Salmon.
Even though Houston's going to to be.
That's the farthest ball I've ever seen hit.
Yeah, it's my favorite Tim Salmon moment. It's the best moment of his career.
Throwback guy.
I was a big time Tim Salmon guy when I was a kid.
I was a big fan.
Little kid.
Yeah.
He had that jaw.
Yeah, he looked like a brick.
Still is a brick, by
with
the
good
way.
Hair.
Good hair.
Great
hair. Kingfish, great hair.
Tim, if you're watching,
be our friend.
Congrats on figuring out the internet. I don't know.
Say hi to Garrett Anderson for us.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought with that, so let's move on. Corey Seager, the reported asking price somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 million. Is that feasible? Of course, the Yankees can use a shortstop. He grew up a New York Yankee fan, grew up a Derek Jeter fan. When the Dodgers went and played in New York against the Yankees in his first full rookie season, all the reporters were on him. They knew he grew up a North Carolina kid, and he was just talking about walking out there, soaking up the moment, soaking up the field, the atmosphere, playing the position, and then turning it off when it's game time. Siegs is at a crossroads where does he want to be closer to home, or does he want to stay with his buddies here and keep living that pimp life in L.A. with his lovely Mrs. Maddie and all of them? There's going to be a friend connection for sure. Before we get into it, sidebar on that, do you guys feel that last little Halloween hurrah for the core of the very, very white
100%.
very, very white people couple?
Oh yeah.
Is that something that's kind of telling?
I'm going to read all the way into that one, especially Courtney Turner's caption on Instagram, where she basically said, last ride, or last time, or whatever it may be. And look, just even if that was just to signify that not every single person, maybe you factor in Joe Kelly and Chris Taylor, there's no way they can bring all those guys back. But to me, when it comes to to Corey Seager. You know, I dropped a video like a couple months ago about him going to the Yankees.
Yeah.
And
you were on it first.
Well, I'm not even trying to say that because I mean I was talking about the 2016 2016 piece you were talking about where you know he was idolized Derek Jeter. His family's from upstate New York. It was special for him. You know, doesn't have the beard, so doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, he's already cut, boy.
But I noticed that in the comments, you know, it was all Dodger fans, and in the last couple weeks, you got the Yankee fans that are coming in there doing their little research on Corey Seager. I call them the eager Seagers. Like, they want him in pinstripes, and to me, I know that from a personality standpoint, it doesn't seem like it's a fit with Seager's demeanor, but at the end of the day, they just want a winner, and he can go in there. We know his hit tool is ridiculous. Yeah. You're not going to find guys that can do with the bat that what Corey Seager can do. So, and the big caveat for me is just the existence of Trey Turner and the fact that we know that Gavin Lux is not an outfielder, right? Can we accept that at this point? I mean, to be nice about it.
Is he an infielder?
Is he an infielder? Maybe he'll be the DH next year. I don't know. But look, I mean, I think that we know he's going to be a second baseman most likely. Obviously, not going to be an outfielder. So Trey Turner, he wants to be moved back to that shortstop spot. We've all dreamt of Seager taking over the hot corner at one point in his career, but it just
how perfect that would be.
It just, to me, it comes down to Scott Boras too, and the connection doesn't feel like the stars are aligning. But then also the one thing that gives me hope about the Dodgers possibly re-signing Corey Seager was we know Manny Machado. Did they even have a meeting with him? Right? They didn't want anything to do with him. And John Hamm reported before the season, the Dodgers, they made attempts to extend him before this year, a la what they did with Mookie Betts. So the Dodgers do want him in there as a part of their future. So there's that. And look, man, Rookie of the Year, NLCS MVP, the accolades, World Series MVP, multi-time All-Star. It's tough to part ways with a guy that you've developed like that, but I don't know. What does your guys' gut tell you?
Generational talent hit tool there. Where you feeling on the Siegs?
I think that there's no way in hell that he gets a $300 million contract.
From anybody,
regardless of who's out there. I don't care who's bidding on him. The dude's not getting a $300 million contract. And the reason why is because the same narrative that's followed him all around L.A., and not necessarily that it's entirely true, but it's true. He is made of glass, and he can't stay healthy and on the field. And you don't give $300 million to a guy who has issues. And granted, the issues that did plague him, not necessarily things that he could have prevented or anything like that. Obviously, you have Tommy John. That's a big issue. The hip issue that goes along with it, and that they decided to fix just because we're already cutting into his elbow. Let's just cut his hip open too. The hamstrings, I think, is just going to be a continued issue throughout his career. I just think that's going to be an issue for the rest of his life. You don't give that guy $300 million. And if you do, you're a real bad franchise. And you're real bad at making deals. I do, however, think that the Yankees will offer him a deal that he absolutely cannot refuse, and one that the Dodgers don't want to match. I think the Dodgers ideally would like him back. I think they ideally would like Trey Turner and Corey Seager to be the guys up the middle for a while. I think ideally they would like to transition Corey over to third base, where Justin Turner will not be playing long-term because he absolutely cannot probably play even next year long-term. And, I mean, this is something that we've talked about for a long time. This is what they've reportedly said, that Corey's willing to do that, move over to a corner position. Since the moment he showed up to the Dodgers, people were like, that's a future third baseman. 100% chance that's a future third baseman.
We've been hearing that since 2015.
No one has ever said, like, he will be a shortstop for his entire life. He won't be. 0% chance. I would be really surprised if he was a shortstop next year, to be honest with you. But if he is, probably won't be with the Dodgers. Like I said, though, I'm sure they'll be very interested. I'm sure they'll want to keep, Trey up the middle with him, or move them over to the left side, whatever it might be, or start that transition next year where he plays a little bit of both. Don't think he ends up with us.
Best case scenario, if you're looking at the future of this organization and you want it to be good, guarantee be good from starting, keeping going now through the next 5 or 6, 7 seasons, whatever the hell he's going to be looking for. It starts with Corey Seager at the hot corner. Dude has no range, but he can play defense if it's to him.
Gotta be Adam. Gotta be Adam.
And it gets Justin Turner mercifully off his feet regularly. He's still a fine defender. He can still play baseball. We know this, but we saw the dude was gassed when it mattered most, as most of the players who pushed it all season long were gassed when it mattered most. I've been saying, to kind of devolve a little bit here, for me, JT is going to be the new Kike in 2022. He's got to be a guy who can bounce around the infield, give you some middling defense, but DH a whole bunch, because we know that's coming to the We know that's coming to the National League in 2021. But that's a thing for a future show as we find out more about the Corey Seager market. We're still going through these Dodgers free agents. Chris Taylor next up. To me, he's the hardest one to see leave in a few ways. One, I don't want to see him leave, but also I just can't see him leaving this situation. Chris Taylor is such a comfort boy, and boy is comfortable here. He's a surfer. He's close to the ocean. His girl's family, or in Hawaii, I believe it is, or something like that. He doesn't need to be the guy, as we talked about last week, I think it was. He just loves the convenience. He loves. People are talking about him shaving. Jose Rod saying he shaved. He'd go to the Yankees. Be a hell of a pickup. For New York.
They want him too.
They do want him. Yeah,
they do want him too.
Imagine Chris Taylor, quiet boy, trying to go to the Yankees, trying to surf in New York.
They got good waves, man.
In
Brooklyn, crazy beach.
Ain't gonna happen.
I ain't gonna be there.
Do you guys have anything? You guys have anything special to say about Chris Taylor?
I do have something special to say about Chris Taylor. The reason why
Hamilton gives a heart for him, by the way.
I love Chris Taylor. I think he's great. I would love to have him back. He's one of those guys that you look at the free agents and you're like, each one does their own thing very specially and they're very good at it. Whatever. Chris Taylor does a lot of things really well. And in a lot of different ways, he is the exact kind of player that you would think the Dodgers would be like, we have to keep this guy. Absolutely, we have to keep this guy. We're looking for flexibility. We're looking for a guy with that can have some power. We're looking for a guy who can hit literally anywhere in the lineup, which is what Chris Taylor is. You can throw him anywhere in that lineup, and it's probably going to be a good spot for him. However, I think because of that flexibility, that versatility, and that value, I think that he's going to mean so much more to other teams. And I think that they're just going to price the Dodgers out in this particular instance. Because when Friedman was talking about what pieces they need, his thought was we got to look at the versatility and what we have covered and what we don't have covered. And to me, that was like a Chris Taylor type of player without actually saying, hey, it's Chris Taylor. That's going to be the guy that we're going to bring back. So I think you look at 167 strikeouts last year. I think that's not a model that the Dodgers are comfortable with. That's not something that they want to keep going and leaning towards because those numbers haven't improved. At any point, like he's been a high strikeout dude for every season that he's been in LA. And so because of that, I think they're going to try to get away from that. I think they are going to look more towards the guys who are making contact with balls, especially after this season, because this season it was rough and it was bad and it was at the worst times. I think they would like to bring him back again because of his experience and versatility.
He's the only guy who hit in the postseason.
Again, one of the only people who hit in the postseason. I just don't think that they go above and beyond to bring him back. And that's why I do think he ends up with like the Giants or possibly the Yankees or someone who like that, who maybe even the Red Sox somehow.
Somebody ratio this guy right now.
Yeah, do that to me, man. That's the two worst teams that he could end up with, by the way. He's just not going to the Padres. How about that? Do you feel better about that? He's not going to the Padres.
Now it's sad. He's really the one.
Do you want me to change it back and be like, he's coming back to LA?
Yeah.
I do think when it comes to Chris Taylor, a couple of factors in play is when you saw with Jock Peterson, Kike last year, Kike won the 500 plate appearances. Jock, they told him that he wasn't going to be a part of their future, and he wanted a chance to prove that he could be an everyday player. But like you said, Chris Taylor is comfort boy, right? He's never done anything wrong in his whole life, but if he signs with another team, it will be the first wrong thing he's done in his life because with LA, a perfect role for him. He's going to get his playing time one way or another, whether it be injuries.
Always gets it, yeah.
You're always going to find a way out there. And but I'm in agreement with you. Like, we forget that before he hit that home run against the Cardinals in the wild card game, he was riding an ice-cold 8 for 72 streak. But the same token, he was one of the guys this year, first 4 months of the season. Him and Muncy were the team MVPs. He makes his first All-Star team, but I'm with you. I think that my biggest fear, Brooke, is I'm with you on that. I think there's so many teams that are going to covet that positional versatility. The fact that he is proven to be like Seager's been great for the 2020 postseason, right? Chris Taylor really has, he was really solid in 2017 postseason. This year, led the Dodgers in OPS, home runs. I mean, he went off, and he was clutch Taylor, and he got it done for the Dodgers this year. But I just think that you saw the lack of depth and gamers for the Dodgers this year. Yeah. I think they're going to realize that they might have made a little bit of a mistake just trusting, the Zach McKinstry's, that they were going to come in and plug them in when, you got a guy like Chris Taylor is a unique player that you don't want to see in another team's uniform.
If you want to keep winning, Andrew Friedman, this is a must sign. This is your one must sign of these, 10 premium-ish free agents. This is the one guy.
Sign Chris Taylor over Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah. Because they have pitching depth. They don't have.
No loyalty.
I can't get over that emotional hump. I'm with
They
you.
don't
Can't.
have
It's impossible.
I have zero emotional attachment compared to the emotional attachment that I have for Clayton.
Yeah, look,
zero.
I'm going to be the robot right here. Then I'm going to be the guy.
You know what? You suck. I don't know what to tell you.
Baseball is a business. I get both sides.
Baseball is a business, and at some point, if you want to keep winning, or do you want to be that team that has the fucking Miguel Cabrera contract just chilling?
I don't want that contract. I'll give you that.
Yeah, you don't want that guy that's just still there. Or, flashback to 8 months ago, Albert Pujols contract with Anaheim. You need to have these guys that are going to help you win.
It's like letting Kobe walk and I don't know.
Well, I'm not saying they also.
That's a good way.
We got to keep Lamar Odom. Let's let Kobe go.
I love one of the best. Everybody
Taylor,
All-Star team.
CT, you stay away from them Kardashians, all right?
Oh, please, Chris.
Oh, Anthony keeps supporting that.
What it is
to preach Clint. Yeah, look, it's a tough call, but I think.
And I'm not saying
I would say when it comes,
don't bring back
we got a
Kershaw.
porn account leaving comments. That's exciting.
I would say I'm usually against emotional signings. Like 99.9% of the time, or maybe 99% of the time, I would say no. Clayton Kershaw is at 1%. But I think when it comes to Chris Taylor, I think that he's going to realize that the Dodgers are a good situation. I don't think it's going to be. They're going to make this is the difference between the Kike and the Jocks. The Dodgers are going to want to keep him in the fold. I don't think he's going to get that $70-80 million range at the end of the day. Yeah. We'll see what he's able to fetch on the open market. Does strike out a lot, but also when he gets hot, he really swings a hot bat. And like I said, he couldn't have entered this year really in his contract year in a better way. I mean,
if you're playing 60-game seasons every year, you don't need Chris Taylor. When you're playing real full-blown regular seasons, you need a Chris Taylor type.
Bring back Kike.
Funny faces. We need more funny face guys.
Trent says Clint also said sign Carlos Correa. So, does your opinion actually matter?
Dude, Carlos Correa would be
the trash master of the postseason right now. He's garbage right now, isn't he? I haven't been watching, but I'm pretty sure he's bad in the World Series.
Hey, I stand behind it. I would love to see some different type of heart.
What is that? When he does that?
It's his time. I don't know.
He says, "What's the time? It's time to get ill." No, he's not.
I'm like, are you Damian Lillard full? I don't know.
Anyways, if you guys want to hear my Correa talk, go back and listen to the last episode.
Hey man, that's some spicy stuff. That's why you tune into this show. You're not gonna hear any other podcast making taste like that. That's why you get the spice, the lava hot takes here on the Blue Heaven podcast. But
Blue Haven.
I think that man, Carlos Correa's passion. And when he's hot, I mean, he can get you big dingers in big spots.
You just need a captain. You need somebody that's going to go out there and be in the team's face if something's going awry. And they didn't have that. They didn't really have a captain. They had, JT's a captain, but he does it behind closed doors. He's not going to be somebody who does it on the field. Yes.
I just saw a comment from a comedian. It says Phil Jackson's very first move with the Lakers was to sign Lamar Odom, who was on crack.
Oh,
man, Eric, I like that one. Yeah.
Isn't Lamar gonna fight someone? That's getting way too off topic. He's one of those guys.
Is he fighting a YouTuber or whatever?
Probably.
Oof. Lamar gonna die
again.
Damn. Oh wow.
Rest in peace, part 2.
Moving on. Sign Chris Taylor. Signing Chris Taylor does not say you don't bring back Clayton Kershaw. You can't. At any rate, Kenley Jansen. Start getting into rapid fire here as we,
that one got me.
Kenley Jansen. Most people think he's gone. I think we're all probably of that same feeling.
Ilk.
This is his final chance for big money as a free agent. He's 34. Or he's going to be 34. I think he really is 34. And that desire for the big money is going to be the thing that takes him out of L.A. And we already said, notably, he took Dodgers out of his Instagram bio. So that's, stop the presses right there.
I think he's also pretty fed up with L.A., to be honest with you.
I would not blame him.
Been getting this sense from him for 3.5 years now. I mean, just hearing him talk to reporters, I'm like, he's pretty upset. I think he's kind of over this a little bit. I do think he ends up on the East Coast. I think he ends up with the Phillies or something like that.
Ooh. Phillies don't need pitching. What are you talking about?
The Phillies have needed pitching for a very long time. But we have Cole Hamels.
I keep thinking the Cubs, trading Kimbrel. Handle that big market. I think when it comes to Kenley, look, the bottom line, after he was booed off the mound, a .96 ERA and 37 2/3 innings after that, booing works. I hear a lot of people saying, don't boo your players.
Proud booer.
You paid for that ticket. You do what you want. As long as you don't throw things.
To be fair, if he does not want to get booed, Philly is a bad place to go.
Exactly. Look, Brooke.
Those guys, they do not let you off the hook at all.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah, no,
Zero.
you're right.
They would boo their grandmothers off the field.
And that's the thing. It comes with the territory of playing in a big market for a flagship franchise.
sure.
You're going to get the boos. If he goes to a Marlins or a team, how's he going to get up for those games? We know he feeds off that adrenaline.
He
so,
does.
but at the end of the day, I do think, look, people always get weird in the comments when I call him a Dodger legend, but 350 saves.
He's the greatest closer in
two-time
Dodger
NL
history.
reliever.
100%.
Exactly.
Easily.
Yeah,
No,
and
this is an indisputable fact.
Yeah, people are
not an
like,
opinion.
People are
Right.
like, how are you say
Yeah.
that? And I'm like, how do you watch baseball? I don't know.
Yeah.
Jeff Shaw, obviously, greatest closer.
Oh man, from the Reds, I remember that trade.
Go.
I was
Hey, it only
pumped.
cost us Paul Konerko.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my goodness.
Great trade by Tommy Lasorda. Rest in peace, my friend.
Bless that time.
Jeff Shaw. That was a deadline deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tommy was great. Not great at bringing talent out of people. Not a great talent evaluator. Shout out Pedro Martinez.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh,
Anyways,
I think-
Kenley to Philly. Make it a hashtag.
if he's somebody,
Yeah.
if
He
he's
looks weird
somebody,
in red.
if he's somebody that doesn't care as much about the money, which he might be,
Are pinstripes slimming?
no,
They're fattening?
I think they're fattening.
Oh, he's got a little huge.
And he's going to get bigger as he gets older. He's
Right.
already 34. I'm going to go out on a limb. I think Kenley comes back.
Ooh, I like that.
I think you guys are all accurate in your assessments that
Still gonna
there
come back.
are burned bridges and all of that. But
Maybe he likes slander. Maybe he enjoys it.
I think he does
Secretly.
get off on the slander.
Oh, gets up.
I think he
different-
found a way
that's a
to
different
channel it.
headline.
I think there was a real nice resurgence. What was it now? Like 3 years ago, whatever it was, when I talked about it being like a bad relationship. It's a long-term relationship where, with the Dodgers and the fan base and Kenley Jansen, there was the whirlwind romance, the honeymoon phase, and then it ended, and everybody was just, we were in bed, and Kenley was on his iPad, and we were, on our phones reading Twitter or whatever the hell it was. The romance was dead in the relationship. We tried to spark it a few times or whatever. Well, they found a spark here in 2021. So I think he found a way to get past this stuff. You saw him sharing everybody, so many people's videos of him coming in, the inspiration and all that. I do think him seeing the shrink helped him a whole bunch. But again, it comes to creature comforts. It comes to family. Kenley is a massive family man, and all of the family's roots are here in his LA frickin' mansion that he has built out perfectly for him. You think he wants to move all those shoes?
That's
He's got a
good
guy
point.
for that, too.
Yeah.
Also, you know what?
He's got that neon Jordan light.
He's gonna call.
That's
He's
cool.
hey,
Counterpoint.
Hey, Muncie, can you
Yeah.
come?
Can you come help me move?
Come help.
Counterpoint. If he
Yeah.
goes to Philly, cheesesteaks are going to really mess him up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know he's one of those dudes that like gets on a
Hold
food
on.
trick.
Breaking. Gary texts me. He says, "No more Kenley. Full mess with us for 4.5 years and then does good for half a season." No.
You think Gary doesn't watch? You don't know.
Gary's all out on Kenley. All right. Now we have to get into the serious rapid fire because we're we got more show to get through. Joe Kelly, he's hurt. He has essentially what equates to an $8 million option. The Dodgers will not pick up. They're going to decline it. It's going to be a $4 million payout. It could return on a cheaper deal. I think he would. I think he's another guy who seemingly like playing closer to home, which is something I also think we said last week.
He's a guy who's going to end up with a Southern California team regardless. I don't care who it is. It's going to be a Southern California team.
Joe
I think it
Kelly,
is the
closer.
Dodgers. I think it's an incentive-laden deal. I think that biceps injury is probably going to be a bigger deal than we're anticipating. And I don't know necessarily that he'll be ready for most of next season, in my humble opinion. But I do think he gets an incentive-laden couple-year deals with options, similar to what he got before, but much cheaper. Much cheaper.
You got anything
Too
on Joe Kelly, or do you want to talk Theo, the legend? Because that's what people I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy on Joe Kelly other than the fact that, I mean, how many legendary off the, things that he's just so many iconic moments from just owning Carlos Correa,
funny faces
the
guy.
mariachi jacket, mariachi Joe Kelly, and he's such a fan favorite. I know that's a factor. He's a Southern California dude. I'd love to see him back. I mean, I think there's a lot of uncertainty about his injury situation right now. But
Yeah.
look, I mean, he was one of the, he was so effective this year. I wish we had this Joe Kelly for the duration of that contract. But
Yeah.
when it comes to, I definitely see him as a guy that if it's a very team-friendly deal, makes sense for both sides, that I wouldn't rule it out.
Craig Osterberg says Kelly, injury prone for sure. Anthony Keene says Joe Kelly to the Angels, which is the other one that makes the most sense. His family grew up Angels fans. I think he did as well. Terry Gates, lovely comment, says, so glad you guys are here in the post and off season. We appreciate that, Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
For you, specifically.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
Albert Pujols, he ain't done. He said it. He's out there playing in the Dominican Winter League. Is he returning to L.A. or to St. Louis? What do you got? I want to get your thoughts on that one, Mr. Doug McCain.
He's popular with the fans. He did his job. He crushed lefties. You didn't see those extra base hits, though, in the postseason. He had 5 singles. I just don't think...
Couple of wind singles in there.
Yeah. I just don't...
Man.
I just don't think he can do exactly what they need him to do from a productivity standpoint to justify bringing him back. I mean, maybe as he wants to play too. I mean, it makes a lot of sense for him to go back to St. Louis. If you got the DH, he can go play with his boys, Wainwright, Molina, and the whole gang. I hope that's what happens.
It's like an old bowling team with old dudes.
It really is. I mean, get the band back together.
One last hurrah before I move to Connecticut.
So
is that where old people live?
I just I think too.
Idaho?
I think Clint. I almost don't want him to come back in the sense that it was nice how it all went down. The Theo Albert hugs.
Great summer.
It will go bad at some point.
Don't do the Chase Utley.
Yeah, exactly.
Great summer fling.
It's gonna go. It's summer fling. It's gonna go bad at some point. I don't want to see it get ugly. It was great while it lasted. It was a moment we won't forget. We saw him. It's like when you see Babe Ruth in the Dodgers when he was a coach. You know, that's how it's gonna feel looking at Pujols one day. You know, him in a Dodger uniform. He's such a legendary player.
Yeah.
But I just think that he is used to living in Southern California, and he's lived here for over a decade, or at least had roots here, of course, with the Angels and the Dodgers now. So I do think he would probably like to remain here. He had some issues with the DeWitt family and how things ended in St. Louis. Maybe he wants to right those wrongs, but I just think that the Dodgers, in certain aspects, they need to get younger, and I just think that Pujols, as great as he was, crushing lefties and being that locker room presence, I think they should really probably go a different direction.
The big key there, they gotta get younger.
Yeah.
I also don't think he ends up with the Cards, by the way.
Oh,
that's a
Miami Marlins, 6 years, $100,000 million.
I was gonna say he might end up with a team that is like young and looking to rebuild. The Cardinals are a serious playoff contender. Why would you fill a roster spot with him? I think ultimately he tries to play the season, gets cut by another team, retires during the season. Cardinals sign him to like a one-day contract or some crap.
One of those
deals, whatever the hell they're gonna do.
Callie Gonzalez brings up a good point here. Bring him back as a hitting coach. The only thing I could kind of see is that sort of split, coach player deal where if he does come out and not hitting anybody anymore, they're just like, hey, you just transition. I just don't want to do it. Like, let's just end it on a good note. It was fun. We enjoyed it. We have all the good memories. I don't want to start the year off with him going 0 for 48 and then we're like, why do we bring this bum back? I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Why is he still giving hugs? I'm like, no.
I know.
I think Albert Pujols should just retire already. He's embarrassing himself in front of God and the
Why don't you go hug a base hit? You're gonna get that.
Hug a base hit.
Yeah. Go hug a homer.
That's a solid one.
Did you see that thing I posted about the costumes yesterday?
I don't watch your stuff.
No, it was just some stupid thing. But the people in the comments were like, I wish someone had dressed up as Clutch, or like I wish someone had dressed up as Eddie Rosario.
Got him, guys.
And I was like, those are good ones. I was gonna say, I'm giving you props is what I'm doing.
You're never coming back. We have so many names to get through.
Yeah. Corey Knebel. I think he's gonna go somewhere else because he wants to probably sign a closer deal.
Philly.
All right. That's all I got.
Corey Knebel's a good Philly name, right? Doesn't he look like a Philly guy? He just looks like a potato. I don't know.
Jimmy Nelson. I think Jimmy Nelson likes his Dodger experience. He had Tommy John. He will not be back next season anyway, so it could be a Tommy Kenley type deal. Could be like 2 years. I don't know.
They've spent like a decent amount of money for that guy to not pitch for them, though.
Yeah.
Hey, it would have been, about the same thing unless he was going to hit in the postseason. It would have been about the same thing. Danny Duffy, somebody Tommy John in retirement. He will not be back. He will not get a Kenley type deal. It's going to be Tommy John retirement or return to KC.
Someone needs to take Cole Hamels out back and shoot him, dude.
My God.
We just got to put him down.
Notably,
we just got to put
Cole
him down,
Hamels
man.
is still on the roster.
Got to put him down, guys.
My boy.
Put him out of his misery. He's been gone for a long time. Him and Cliff Lee should
like
retire
Animal
together.
House. This is going to be so not worth it, but hey, Cole, Come here. Come on. Get in real close. This is the slowest camera in the world.
Slow zoom.
It's not worth it anymore.
Okay, well, now we're too close.
Just retire.
No, we look
I'm going
at
to try to fix it. Steven Souza. Funny faces. We need the funny face guy.
No.
It's messing with you.
God.
No.
That's a what does Roach call him? His pick to pipe?
Yeah, pick the pipe.
Yeah.
Steve Souza. It's going to be another minor league contract somewhere, or more likely retaring. If anything, they might give him an organizational spot.
He already talked about retiring. Like he was
going to
like,
be
I'll
an
just
organizational
retire. And they were
spot.
like, to come play.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he was at like a
decision.
Mariners game just chilling.
As a fan with like nachos. Yeah.
So you heard it here first, folks. Organizational guy.
He looked like a fan when he was playing in the playoffs.
To be a hitting coach.
He had a worse throw than I would ever make, and that's bad.
That was so
I have a bad arm.
Look at that one.
16 hopper.
What?
I was saying that too, like, if you could imitate someone else's swing.
Oh,
But
not Souza, right?
yeah.
All
Could have been somebody else.
I'm going to imitate Steve Souza's swing,
Yeah.
which is going to be an imitation of Mookie Betts' swing because, hey, that worked. That worked well. All right, before we burp and before we make like a tree and get the F out of here at some point, let's dabble just a tad into some of the outside of the organization type of dudes. This will be more of probably next week's episode because, it's late. And I'm pretty sure Doug's missus is locked out of the house, so you probably got to get out of here at some point. Starting pitcher options, one of them I did not think was going to get as much traction and whatever as it did, and Doug's going to have a video coming out about him tomorrow, Tuesday, on our YouTube channel, Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman apparently elicits some sort of feelings in people, a lot of feelings in people, but he is going to be a free agent. He's 30. He's got pitches, and, he's an athlete, but it's a type of dude they could look at if he's looking for $25 million. I'd rather put that little bit of extra money out and go get Max Scherzer for 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you look at it that way. I mean, Stroman, he had a really nice year. Like, I think he had a 3.03 ERA. Doesn't strike out too many guys. Lots of pitch to contact. Like you said, he has that dynamic pitch mix. I think his style would play up at Dodger Stadium. I think that people, would gravitate to watching him pitch, his antics, and I don't know how much of it is overblown. He's gotten into it with players, Chris Sale, with Alex Cora, he's had his spouts. But I just don't think, especially at that price, I mean, $25 million per maybe 4 years, something in that range. I just don't see, maybe I heard there was a rumor, I think a few weeks ago, the Padres might be interested in him. That kind of makes some sense, but what do you think about Stroh?
I mean, look, he's an innings guy. He can give you a ton of innings when he's healthy. I think that's the biggest thing is when he's healthy. He's, like you said, a pitch to contact guy, which can either go really well or really terribly at Dodger Stadium, depending on the day. I don't know. I mean, again, he's one of those guys where it's like you look at the peripherals and you're like, maybe not. You look at the bottom line stats and you're like, yeah, I mean, decent back end starter, whatever it might be for you guys, for the Dodgers specifically. But it's nothing's going to jump out at you. Nothing's going to make you go sign this guy for $25 million a year.
Yeah, you're inking him as a 3 or 4 guy.
Yeah, more likely like a 4 guy, more realistically for this team. So, I mean, if you can get him at the right price, absolutely. I just don't. At 30, 31, however old he is, I think other teams are probably going to want to overpay him a little bit. And the Angels might overpay him a little bit because he does kind of fit their style of guy that they want. He is like a very, they've never had that like high strikeout, like starting pitcher kind of guy, that ace type. And he's not necessarily that, but he's an upgrade over literally anybody else that they have right now.
Well, they used to, and then Kershaw got old. So there was that year he struck out like 300.
No, I meant the Angels.
Oh, I was stopping paying attention.
The Angels should sign him.
Oh, yeah. The Angels still in the league?
Yeah.
Guys, you should really pay attention to the whole show.
Yeah, me too.
I saw, Cease McGee says Stroman to the Angels.
The Angels.
There it is.
There you go.
MH talking about Stroh has nasty off-speed stuff. I mean, you can't speak ill of the talent for sure. Anthony Keene feels like a Padres signing all day. I mean, they're going to be getting, they still have you, Darvish, not you.
They're getting Clevenger back.
They're getting Clev back.
The number 5 starter, Mike Clevenger. No one understands satire anymore. No one gets it.
No, people are dumb. Another guy's going to be a free agent, Noah Syndergaard. Any chance that he leaves the Mets?
Man, I wanted him badly. That sounds just
romantically.
I wanted him badly.
Yeah.
Before everything,
it's
I thought
hair.
He was a trade candidate like in 2019. It was a possibility like way back in the day. But he's comfortable there. He's popular there. He's Thor. I don't know. We kind of have to see how he looks too.
He's pitched 2 games since the end of the 2019 season.
I'm not
he
big.
did come back and pitch, huh?
Yeah,
he pitched
2 games.
2 games.
All right, 90 ERA. Let's
threw
go.
2 innings.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me at this point, I mean, the Dodgers can be selective, and you really shouldn't be taking. I mean, look, Dustin May coming back. You got the 3 young starters. Presumably, I'm really feeling good about Max Scherzer re-signing with the team. Hopefully, Kershaw gives you 5 starters right there.
Right.
So, I mean, you can be really selective unless, like you said, something at the right price. So yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I don't see that one.
Jerry Wyatt, he gets me. It's a hair thing, or if it's a hair thing, we already have Bickford, so we're good. We're good on the hair.
Solid.
Yeah, you're good there. So you can romanticize Phil Bickford, since you were into Noah Syndergaard. I don't think they go. I really don't think the Dodgers go outside of the known commodities and starting pitching this hot stove, but. Got a lot of hot stove ahead to figure out. These are the fun names, though. These are names that everybody loves, and probably because of the title of this video and episode and all that, a lot of people probably clicked on it because of this, and I'm sorry that you're waiting to 1 hour 6 to get into it-ish. One, we'll start with the appetizer. Kyle Seager's a free agent. I'm going to say no. Makes
0.
no sense.
0.
You don't need another left-handed batter who can't get on base regularly, who can't hit contact.
Out.
And I mean, sure, he's like a 30-95 guy, but
don't need it.
Don't really
Hard
need
pass.
that so much. The big name, the more I've thought about it, the more I've really liked the idea of Kris Bryant. Forever, perpetually linked to Dodgers, Kris Bryant does make a healthy amount of sense. Depends on what kind of money he's looking for. Of course, he is a Boris guy, if I'm not mistaken. What's your gut feeling? Where are you at as a fan, and what do you think is going through the Kris Bryant thing? And by all accounts, he's not going back to San Francisco.
Yeah, I was just going to point that out. By all accounts, it doesn't seem like San Francisco. There was some talk that maybe they even extend him before the season ended last year. I mean, that honeymoon phase was real, with him in San Francisco. His position versatility and give you those corner outfield spots, can play third. He did, I mean, From the MVP year to his down year and the injuries, I mean, there are some durability concerns. When he is right, he's still a very productive player. I would like to see him on the Dodgers at the right price, depending on how they do with some of their other key free agents. He's a guy that I would consider for sure. I mean, you got Marcus Semien out there. I mean, there's some of those other guys out there that if the Dodgers were in on them, I would definitely take a flyer depending on their asking price. I just think there's going to be I think there's going to be a more robust market for Kris Bryant than I think there's going to be teams out there that are going to. I just don't see the Dodgers overpaying for him like they might have to get him.
Premium third baseman still in the league. Where are you at?
I think he's one of those guys that makes sense if you're looking at a third base replacement short term, because the Dodgers do have guys in their system that they envision playing third base long term. There are a couple names out there that they want to see. Cody Hosey might be one of them. There's also beyond that, there's other names, but I think if you're looking at a shorter term deal with Kris Bryant, I think it's realistic. I think that the Dodgers will pay that elevated annual salary in order to cover those years, and that I don't think they'll have a problem with doing that. And Kris Bryant might want to rebuild his brand a little bit and get a little bit of a better deal after that. Maybe one more contract after that, a huge contract that carries him to the end of his career, or whatever the hell he wants to do. But he does bridge that gap. So, I mean, it works in the sense of gives you a third baseman, gives you a guy who can be flexible, although he's not a great outfielder. He can be an outfielder. And that makes a lot of sense, depending on who you lose, especially in free agency.
Don't sleep on that versatility.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the Dodgers are all in on that all the time. So if you're looking for that, yes, they have for a while needed a good right-handed bat. And, that might play into what they do with A.J. Pollock long-term, or even this year.
Yeah.
Maybe they look to capitalize on some of his value and move him, since he has a pretty good contract, too. You just never know what they're going to do.
Yeah, Bryant is a guy who has that infield versatility, which does play up. He can play some outfield, like Brooks said. Averages 31 homers, 89 ribbies, over 880 OPS. So he's a guy that does put together quality at bat. He did have a really down 2020, but otherwise, his numbers are right there. There when he's healthy, he's amongst the premier players in the league. His accolades show as much. He's been there, done that as a world champion. It would honestly could. As I change my my leaning into it, I would love to see Kris Bryant on this team, to be honest, because most importantly, that would mean Justin Turner's playing
Yeah.
third base full time anymore.
He's another one of those guys too. It's like
the defense was bad.
Oh,
in 2021,
it was not good.
man. All around on the Dodgers.
Wasn't
defense
good.
was bad.
it was like a dirty little
secret.
secret until it wasn't. And then it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you get on the biggest stage and
Yeah.
everybody's watching, you're like, oh wow, these guys kind of suck. The shortstop has no range. The third baseman is 40. 40 and a
He really rounded up on his ass.
Yeah. And the second baseman is learning the position in the moment. And their
$20
Gold Glove
just
first
hi.
baseman. What? Hi.
You say hi?
Hi, Cody. Anyways, more on those type of bodies later on in the offseason. And then shortstop, we already talked about Carlos Correa. Don't need to talk about him. There's the Javi Baez. If you really want to go elite defense at short, you go with Javi Baez. But
I just hate Javi.
and there's, of course, Trevor Story. They're not going to go out and get a shortstop with Trey Turner.
Nope.
around. So,
0.
simple as that. Even if I do like the idea of a Carlos Correa, just what he brings in a infield captain type, which I do think plays up a lot in a team, there's not going to be a shortstop. They're not going to go out and sign a shortstop. If they're going to sign any shortstop, his name is going to be Corey F. and Seager.
Weird
DH,
name.
Nelson Cruz is also out there, and rumors have it that he would have signed with the Dodgers last offseason. He was ready to sign with them if the DH was ever figured out. But, of course, in true Rob Manfred fashion, the DH was never figured out, and here we are. He had to go not to L.A. and didn't win it.
He's one of those dudes that, like, you look at it and you're like, no, you don't sign a 42-year-old guy to a contract. But then also he hit 32 home runs last year and OPS plus, like, 130 or some crap like that. Like, he's one of those dudes that does not make sense on paper. 0% makes sense. But if you want a true DH, why not? I don't think the Dodgers want a true DH, by the way. I think they're going to use it to their advantage, rest guys, get them off their feet, rotate, just as they did in 2020. They're not going to have a true DH. But if they wanted to, Nelly would be cool.
Would be cool, but it
Some
ain't going to
boomstick
happen.
baby in SoCal. Whew.
But that's about it. I think we've wasted enough of your guys' time with this. There's still a lot more off-season to go. If you guys want to keep staying on top of it all,
My beer's warm.
get cold beer and then go watch Doug McCain. You follow DMac_LA on our YouTube channel. You guys make sure you. Oh, I gotta push the right buttons. Hold on one second, everybody. There it is. There it is. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. You'll be glad you did, and do all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Doug's humping all the time. He gets excited about Noah Syndergaard, and he just gets to work, goes to town, and doing that thing there. He's got the point going. DonKimses.com.
What up, Don Kim?
Anthony Keene pointing out Brooke babysitting. What's going on?
I didn't realize there was any more in there, to be honest with you.
Well,
We didn't have a pregame shot because it's inappropriate now.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that.
No, your boy drank last night.
Speak for yourself. Add one.
Is that why all the booze is gone? But I probably should push the right buttons. There it is. That's about it. We'll have more. We'll actually probably next week then have our top 3 to 5 moves that win the Dodgers another World Series in 2022. So you're going to have to tune in next Monday live if you want to see that. But until then, find us on the internet at DodgersNation.com. Go ahead and subscribe to our podcast, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Go find Brooke at alllakers.com. We're also covering Lakers. Make sure you sign up for our YouTube channel, Lakers 24-8. That's like a 2 and then a 4 and then an 8, but it's all one run-on words. But there's numbers in there. Lakers 248, 24-8. Go do it. Do the thing. You can subscribe. You can find Doug doing more things. We're going to be building that up, so it would mean a whole lot to us. Eric Stevens throws $4.99 our way. Super chat,
Thank you,
great show,
Eric.
guys. We appreciate you, Eric. Everybody, you always know that your super chats go straight to the beer fund. That's it. I'm done talking to you
Guys, I'm at BrookMe3. This guy over here is at RealFRG. That's DMac over there. You guys know him. You guys already follow him.
What up,
So
what
I'm not
up?
even going to worry about him. We're at Dodgers Nation on Twitter, at Dodgers Nation on Instagram as well, because we did change it. And I just remembered that right now. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for comments. Stay with us all off season long. We're going to bring you everything and a lot of stuff that you didn't ask for. We love you. Happy day.
Bye.